We'll call the meeting to order for the Clemson City Police Advisory Board, May 23rd meeting, and we will start with the roll call. Myself, Lisa Robinson, present. Jackie Myers.
She sent an email indicating she wasn't going to be here due to graduation events.
Okay, excused. Kevin is excused today. Sandy.
Yes, ma'am.
Is present. Riley.
Yes, ma'am.
Is present. Pablo.
Present.
Present. Elaine is present. Winton. Present. And Ashby.
I have not heard from Ashby.
Okay. So we can go ahead and look at the agenda, and if everything seems in order, unless there are any changes or additions, if I get a motion to approve that.
I make a motion we approve the minutes. Second.
Moved and seconded. Call the question, all in favor?
Wait.
Okay. Very good. So next on to the previous minutes, and those are the minutes from April 25th. You have those in front of you, if you haven't had a chance to already look at them. Everything looks in order. If we can get a motion to approve the minutes, unless there are any changes. Minutes look okay? Commissioner, motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Approved in a second. All in favor? Okay. We are on to the citizen comments, and we do not have anyone here in the seats to speak, so we will go ahead and do we receive any comments? I'm not aware of any. Okay. Okay, we will go on to the department status and staffing review.
Okay, so I'll start with our staffing. We had one sergeant retire last month, which gave us one vacancy, officer vacancy we need to fill. One of our dispatchers who applied for and successfully was selected to become an officer has been in the academy for the last few months, and she is scheduled to graduate this Friday, or actually tomorrow. So once she graduates tomorrow, she'll come back and start her field training, which is a minimum 8-week training program with a training officer. And we are very excited to have her come back and start that next phase of her training. And so we have one candidate that is still doing pre-academy work, and he's due to go to the academy, I think, the beginning of next month. And we have one officer who we hired who is already a certified officer. He worked for Anderson County Sheriff's Office prior to coming to us, and he's currently in his field training, so we anticipate him getting cut loose here in a couple of weeks. I'm hearing nothing but positive comments about his progress, so it shouldn't be much too longer before he gets out. All of our jail telecommunicator positions are full, so we had one just graduate 2 weeks ago from jail school, and we have one that's in training right now, and she's scheduled to go to jail school soon if she's not already there. No, she hasn't left yet, but once she goes through that jail school and then comes back, then she'll be fully trained. We have the city's budget hearings coming up June 3rd, and I don't know if you've seen any of the documents that have been posted yet, but I have been told after they received their revenue projections that they are recommending that we get an additional telecommunicator jailer position, which will help us with any staffing shortages that we have and some supervisory responsibilities that we currently have, where they can be more versatile to cover either side of the rotation. One officer position and one detective position. And the detective position is dependent on a grant, Department of Justice grant that I applied for. I won't know if we receive the grant until October, because the federal system cycle is October to September. So I won't know till October, November, whether or not we get that grant. And if we do, then we will have an additional detective position. That specific position would be for narcotics investigations. Our narcotics investigator is overwhelmed with investigations and definitely needs a partner to help with that. So that was the whole purpose for applying for that position, is so we can focus our attention on those investigations. I will also, as far as status, I attended this past week, I just came back this afternoon, the International Association of Chiefs of Police Technology Conference that was held in Charlotte. This conference not only has all the different technology or technological vendors that are available to law enforcement there that we could all go and see in one location and talk to them all at the same time to see what they offer, what their pros and cons are, which was very helpful. I had sent both of my captains and 2 of my lieutenants to it so they also could talk to the vendors. For example, one of the vendors there is Wheelin, which is one of the companies that makes our emergency lights that go onto our vehicles. They have a module on it that they can install in the car that has a lot of features that will help us with our fleet maintenance, but it also has features that are very similar to the features that you all saw when you saw the presentation for the Pursuit Alert program. Well, this company has that, and it doesn't require the officers to do anything other than when they respond in emergency mode and turn their lights on to go in emergency mode. This system takes care of sending the alerts out and doing all of those things, and the officer doesn't have to do anything else in the car. So it's one of those things that I advocate for, is the less the officer has to do when responding to an emergency, the better, so they can keep both hands on the steering wheel and pay attention to where they're going and what's being confronted in front of them. They don't have to look at a computer screen, they don't have to look at a monitor, they don't have to look at buttons and switches. They pay attention to where they're going. So this is more innovation and technology to help with that. So we wouldn't have known about that unless we went to the conference. Also, a bunch of classes that I attended, all about everything from cryptocurrency investigations that are tied into fraud investigations to anything technological. But I actually did see, in relative to our Age ID program that we're doing here, is I learned that not only are there a handful of states right now that are offering what they call mobile driver's licenses or mobile IDs, which are, it's in concept, it is basically an identification that you put into your Apple wallet or your Samsung wallet or whatever, and that is your ID. Now, some states have that now, and I'm told that the state of South Carolina is going to it. I actually met with some of the state of South Carolina officials that were there for that presentation because they are getting ready to go forward with it. But I learned a lot about it, the securities that's tied to it, and how it may get rolled out in the state. So keep us abreast of those things as they come out. So a lot of innovative things coming out there, but it was a great conference, networked with a lot of people from across the country. I actually ran into a couple of my National Academy associates from all over the country to find out how they do things in other states and how do they tackle these things. So it was a great conference to go to. Speaking of the age ID, fake ID program, our percentages of detection have gone down just a hair. I think we're down to 12%. We expected that though, because as less people try to use fakes, less get detected, so the percentage of detection goes down. Now it's summertime and most everybody's gone, and so the establishment still can use the product, but there's not as much patronage as there is during the school year. So we'll see how that affects some of them. And that's pretty, the only other thing about the budget is I think 6 cars is what they've authorized, 6 new cars is what they've authorized in the budget based on the revenues and such. So we'll be looking forward to that. And if approved by council, then that's some of the things that we'll get. Something I learned also today is Duke Energy does grants for municipalities for storm recovery and other operations. And we learned today that they approved a grant for us for a message board that we can use to message people when traffic patterns change and those types of things. And so I think they're going to be doing some kind of press release or something here in the near future about that. So that'll definitely help us out in trying to get information out to our community especially during the stormy season when roads are closed and that type of thing, and we have to have detours and those types of things that'll help us out.
So is that like the emergency text messaging?
No, it's a message board like you see on the interstate when you're approaching a construction zone with the trailer, yes.
Okay.
So if we have to shut a road down or there's heavy congested traffic ahead or because a light's gone out or something like that, we can throw the message board up and kind of warn folks before they get into that area.
It's a mobile.
It's a mobile message board, yes. So.
At the conference, did you see anything about digital license plates? I remember seeing where they had tested those, I think out in California, and there was some talk of the digital plates so that it could be updated or changed, or you could have your tags, before they expire, it could easily be updated.
Nothing that I noticed. No, the only thing remotely close to that were the license plate readers, the different companies that do the license plate readers, and how they're getting incorporated into real-time crime centers, which again was very helpful. I could probably talk for a long time of all the different things that I saw, but we have a lot of resources here in Clemson. We have cameras downtown, we have cameras in our parking decks, we have license plate readers. University has license plate readers, so we have a little bit of a halo around our town when it comes to those things. And it's we probably in the near future probably need to seek funding and such to put somewhat of a real-time crime center together, especially during the busier parts of our season, so that we can have someone remotely see things and report it to the units in the field, so they're not aimlessly searching for a vehicle description. I mean, the license plate readers and the cameras have the capability of picking certain vehicles out when we're looking for something, and it narrows our search and more focused and unbiasedly focuses on those parameters instead of just randomly looking for things.
So is a lot of that using like some of the new AI technology?
Some of it has a little bit of AI in it, but it's not AI that runs on its own. So I know there's a lot of fear in society based on what they see in the movies, and not just in the movies. I mean, there are systems out there that can do that, but those are not systems that we employ. So, but it is a system that can analyze video and say, okay, I'm looking for a red car with a black top. And it can go through the video and say, okay, here's red cars with black tops that we see. So.
Anybody else have any questions for Chief? Okay, we can go on to the crime review.
Yes, so last month, the month of April, I have the map up for the month of April, from April 1st to April 30th, to see what's being reported and where. We've had, we had 4 aggravated assaults, 12 simple assaults reported, 2 burglaries. We didn't have any thefts from motor vehicles or burglaries to vehicles during the month of April. We had 1 motor vehicle theft. I didn't get a chance to look at that one, but if I remember correctly, I think it was a moped, but I could be wrong. We made 15 narcotic and drug arrests during the month. We had 34 liquor law violations, and let's see, in the realm of traffic crashes, we had 16 total. 11 were hit and runs. 5 were just simple accidents.
Wait, I'm sorry, how many were hit and runs?
11.
Oh my goodness.
That's weird.
Now, that may also include like a car in a parking lot getting hit and nobody leaving any information
I
and
see.
leaving. So it may not necessarily
Not
be
necessarily.
on the road. Yeah, it would include that. And let's see. And that's it for the crime. As far as our activity for the month of April, we did 4,100 calls for service. We did 985 traffic stops, and we issued 362 citations. And as one of your colleagues pointed out to me, there's a lot of flashing lights going up and down the road right now because our officers are out there enforcing speed. So there's a lot of people trying to warn other people that we're down the road.
I don't. You have one sitting up on this queen. I don't warn anybody because I hope he nails everybody going down
So
through
that
there.
would be, that will be on this month's, which is next month's report. But yes, he
I
has
was
been
going to
out
ask you
there.
if he's getting a lot of people.
He's been doing a lot of traffic stops, but how many, I don't know. I don't have the statistics on that
I
yet.
just wondered how he was doing.
We did do
On the way
40.
you guys talking, he had already pulled somebody.
So we had 4 DUI arrests. We've had 43 total incarcerations for the month. We answered 32 noise complaints. We issued 17 warnings, 2 citations for noise violations. We responded to 8 animal complaints. Most of those, if I remember, dogs barking at all hours. And I'm sorry, I misspoke on the vehicle collisions. Apparently there were 52, so there was a category I was looking for that I didn't see on the other sheet, so there were more. I know we had a few this past month, and only 5 of those were vehicle collisions with injuries. And
52 collisions just this month, the past month?
for April. Yep, that's in it, that you add the numbers I mentioned before, the 16 to that number.
Any particular area that is more prone? Or?
The map doesn't map them all because the crash reports are done on a state form that doesn't feed into our RMS system, so I can't show that to you on a map. I don't know if there's an easy way to really show where they're occurring unless we pull them from CAT. Let me see.
I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, 52 in a month sounds like
I kind of wonder,
Or-
I wonder if it's speeding or if it's sort of some of those traffic jam bumper to bumper
Yeah,
things going on.
Is it fender benders, people running?
Yeah.
Okay. They're looking at their phone.
So it's not showing me, I can't do CAD calls on this. I can do it on the axis that I have on the back end, but I can't do it on the map here, so I can't show you on here. But if we need to run a map on it later, I can show you. But like she said, 123 is most of where they occur. But there's a smattering of them. Huh? right? That's a lot of the hit and runs, most of the 11 hit and runs were in parking lots. So that's the review for April.
Any questions for Chief on the crime review? If not, we can move on to Project Lifesaver.
So, has anyone here heard of Project Lifesaver? Okay. So, I'm going to their website right now. It's called Project Lifesaver. And basically what it is, it's a nonprofit organization that sells and trains, police departments, sells RF transmitters that a person can wear, and if they go missing, the department has a receiving equipment where they can start tracking or start searching from where they were last seen. The folks that would be candidates for this are people with diminished capacity, some elderly who have a tendency to wander, and the like. Not children, anybody that has some kind of ailment that they tend to wander or so. And we have a decent amount of folks in our community that may qualify for this. I know that the Oconee County Sheriff's Office is one of the agencies in the area that has this. And what got me thinking about this are, and we're going to meet with the Clemson Life folks soon, but we also are finding that because of the Clemson Life program, there are a lot of former participants of the Clemson Life program that still live here because of the environment. And some live by themselves. So I'm trying to think ahead to think, okay, if we had an issue where someone went missing and we need to find them, what resources do we have available to us to do that? And Project Lifesaver is one of the things that I thought about coming up with. This would be something that we would fund through our foundation. So that we just recently had our golf tournament last month, and the money that we raise is for community projects, and this is one of the community projects that I would recommend we use our fund for. The transmitters, there is a cost. I think there's an initial startup cost of like $4,200 to get the receiving equipment, 2 transmitters, and to train staff on how to use it. It's not a GPS tracking device. It's simply a radio transmitter, for lack of a better description, that emits a signal, and the only time that you would be looking for that signal is if they've gone missing. So I just wanted to present it to you to see this is something that we're considering. I don't know if it's something that the Clemson Life people would want to use. We're not going to force anybody to use it that don't want to use it. But having the ability for this, I have reached out to a couple of our retirement facilities here via email to see if they'd be interested, and I haven't gotten any response yet. So I don't know if that means A, nobody saw it, B, somebody saw it and referred it to somebody else and they just haven't got back to me, or C, they were trying to wonder if maybe I'm sitting in their spam folder, they just haven't seen it yet. So, but I do know we have some facilities here that have like memory units and stuff like that, and this is something I think that would be potentially used by them.
So is it like the little chip thing like you put in your luggage, or is it something on a bracelet or an ID necklace or something?
The photographs that I've gotten for what they look like, I had the Oconee County folks send me a picture of what they look like. But it's like a bracelet. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they put it around there like a, kind of like the medical necklace, bracelet. But it's like a medical bracelet, and it's got a little.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Watch.
Something like that.
It's something like that. Yes.
I see this happening on the news all the time. People, elderly people, people with dementia, and they're out looking at, and I'm sitting here thinking, especially Oconee County, they do well to make hikers put these things on. They'd save a lot of time and energy and workforce stuff looking for people if they made people well, I don't know if you can make people, but it'd be a good idea as a hiker, wear these things.
Well, the other thing too, and a lot of people don't know this, but people who have some of these conditions, when they go missing, if they become scared, it's like a fight or flight type of situation, and they will take extreme measures to conceal themselves. So they're even harder to find because they get in such a panic state that they will find a very small confined space to get into and stay there for however long it is that they are scared, and it's hard to find them. And so having a transmitter or something to kind of give us an indication of where they might be. The GPS locators may or may not work because, like any cell phone, if you go into a cave or you go into a building, your GPS signal starts going all over the place because GPS devices need to see at least 3 satellites to give you an approximate location. So when you go into the mountains or the hills or in a valley or in a building or something, those devices aren't useful anymore. It may tell you where they were last at and give you a starting point to start at, but it's more difficult to find. So it's just something I wanted to discuss with you all, see if it, I assume it's something that you would be supportive of.
Sounds like a great idea for a number of different communities that we have that might find it helpful. How many do you think you'd be able to fund?
Well, it depends on how many come forward. Right now, we have the money to do the startup and get a few transmitters, but it really depends on how many transmitters. Now, those that can afford to buy their own transmitter, then that obviously would be our preference, because they are, I want to say, close to $300 a piece, and there is a maintenance schedule because the battery has to continually be replaced in an interval. I'm not exactly sure the interval, if it's monthly or bi-monthly or every other month, but they have to keep the batteries fresh because when they do go missing, you want to make sure that it's transmitting.
Is it technology that could be added to something, like could be added to your Fitbit, could be added to?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's
It has
its
to
own.
be there.
I think it's their own device. I saw something on their commercial side that had some kind of GPS watch-looking thing, but not exactly sure how that So once we sign the agreements and we become a partner, we'll learn more about that. But I know there's stories all over the place, and I put the website up there so people can research it themselves. All over the country, success stories in finding people. Unfortunately, like Ms. Masseri said, we see on the news all too often where somebody walks off and then a month later they find their remains somewhere. So, yes, sir.
Chief, it looks like Pickens County Sheriff's Office has some activity with that.
That may be something that
And maybe we could invite him or one of his reps to come and,
See how they've been using
it
it.
appears, Pickens County Sheriff's Office.
it's possible.
Or either Oconee if they come.
Well, Oconee I've been talking with, so yeah, they helped me out with that. There's a picture of the device.
On the map thing?
Right there on the right.
Oh, right here on the
Okay,
right.
yeah. All right. Yes, it
Same thing
looks
that
like a watch.
Riley just showed us.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good deal, though.
Any other questions or discussion on Project Lifesaver? All right, hearing
Well,
none.
I have one.
Oh,
Besides
yeah,
the
please.
receivers, we wouldn't have to install any like antennas or anything.
No.
Just,
No,
you know.
it's, I hate to use this analogy, but it's similar technology if you know anybody that hunts with animals and has the animals with a transmitter and they have a receiver to follow the animal. It's basically the same concept.
Do we have anything on the golf cart work group? You all had a chance to meet, and where do things stand with that?
Well, we haven't had a chance to meet. I know we've got a meeting coming up.
Okay.
It's the next
We've
Wednesday.
invited a couple of folks to join us from various neighborhoods. I will say that some people kind of found me and sent me an email or made a call and was asking, we're hearing something about golf carts, and is it something about parking in spots down in Clemson, and what's going on here? A lot of people drive golf carts, and there'll be some people, I expect, that will have golf carts come to our meeting. Some we've invited, so there's been some interest out there.
So the next meeting is May 29th at 5 at the police department. The public is welcome
So it's gonna be
Please.
at the police department?
at the police department. And Kevin was on the initial committee, but he indicated based on his medical procedure recently that he won't be there. So if anyone else is on the board wants to attend, they can.
Oh, I had a conversation with somebody that might would.
We'll see.
See,
I'm still in town, I'll definitely attend.
yeah, May 29th, and it will be over there?
Yes.
5 o'clock.
We should have more to report out for the June meeting then, for sure, yeah.
Oh, boy.
And I hate to say it, but I've never been to that new police department, so do I just
You
walk
want to come
in?
over and have a tour?
Oh, yeah, you gotta go
I
get
mean,
a
do I
tour.
just walk in and, like,
Just come to the front lobby and
Okay.
tell them who you're there for, and
okay.
they'll help you out.
Okay, so then, is there any other discussion on that? We can move on to the National Night Out, which is coming up again.
Yeah. So I've been working with my staff. National Night Out, if we do the designated day, again, is on the first Tuesday of August, which again is the first day of public school. So we have decided not to host it on that day to not conflict with the first day of school. So we have decided to do the Saturday before that day, which I gotta look at a calendar to get the date because I don't know it off the top of my head. So it would be,
The week of the 5th or the 12th?
no, it would be the 3rd of August.
3rd of August.
And if I have to change the date, I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd of August. And we are going to have it at Clemson Park, which is off of Frontage Road, where the pump track is, behind is that the Lutheran church, Methodist church? There's a church right there, Methodist church.
That is Methodist church, yeah.
Yeah, so that park back there, and we're still planning it. Sonia and her folks are planning that. So it'll be that Saturday. I don't have the times yet. I think we're still working on that, but I know we have the park reserved. So that'll be coming up in a couple of months.
Okay, any questions on National Night Out? Okay, the next thing we have are any requested presentations or discussions from board members? Are there any topics or people we need to invite? I know we're gonna, when they're available, we're gonna have the city attorney come. The schedule kind of lessens a little bit, the documents a little easier.
I have to remind myself to ask the city attorney to come. It's kind of a unique situation with him because even he's been named as our attorney, but he actually has a firm. So depending on what the topic is, somebody in his firm may be handling it. So an example of that would be, we recently had a decertification hearing on a former officer that we let go, and one of the firm's attorneys attended. It wasn't him. I did go through him, but so I'll see how he wants to handle that.
Are there any other topics or anyone else that we want to invite for future meetings?
So I'll recommend, I don't know how quickly they'll be put in place, but as you know, the chief of police over at the university is retiring, and also the deputy chief is retiring, so they'll be looking for a chief and a deputy chief. And once those folks are named, I will extend an invitation to them to come and talk to the board. when they'll fit that into their schedule will be a big question mark, but especially with, because I know they want to have them in place before the school year starts, and then once the school year starts, their world will probably be spinning
Yes.
very fast, especially when football season.
Into football season,
So,
right, exactly.
Yeah, so.
But sometime later, we'll be able to get them.
Sometime later, if they can fit it in their schedule, at the very least, just come and say, hello, this is who I am, this is my experience, and go from there.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
good.
what about some of the candidates that are running for Pickens County Sheriff? Appropriate, I don't know. We've got several of them running, I just,
I don't know what the legalities of that is.
Yeah, I don't know if we can
I don't think we can prevent them from coming and speaking because it's a public meeting and any of them can come. If, I don't know as a body if we can ask them to come. I'm sure as individuals you can ask them to come. And especially during citizens comment, they can come or make a request to, you know, just give a presentation of who they are. But I'll have to ask if we can do that because you're pseudo city council-esque like, and I don't know any city councils that would go out and ask for individual candidates to come in and do a
I would be
presentation.
afraid that it might be taking an endorsement or whatever. To me, it will make more
Because you'd
sense
have
to
to invite
invite
everyone,
whoever
but not
wins.
everyone might show up, and so
Correct.
then it
Yeah.
seems like
Maybe,
you're.
maybe just wait till they pick somebody.
Yeah, I would say it makes more sense inviting whoever wins.
I don't know how we would move forward with that. I'd have to get some direction on that. Because like you said, it would have to be fair, it would have to be open to all of them. They would all have to have the opportunity to speak.
So then it
You know-
could seem like we're endorsing one over another just by the fact that only a few of them came.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, I think. Do we have any open discussion items? Anyone? No?
So, before we adjourn, our next meeting is June 27th. But the meeting after that, we moved, right? To August, no, July, did we move July, or is July still 25th? It's August that we moved.
August, it's August.
I had July 25th, is that one?
Right. So June 27th, and then July 25th. So those are the next two.
So just August got moved. So this.
Yeah, just August.
Okay.
But we need to,
What's the August date again? The 22nd.
22nd.
That got moved up. Okay.
Actually, did we move it to August 22nd?
August the 22nd?
No, August 20,
It's a Tuesday.
That's the.
I have my calendar at home, I have it written on there, but I forgot.
no, August 22nd is a Thursday.
The second was Thursday.
But that's,
Yeah, I think we moved it from the 22nd because I'm gonna be out, I think, right?
That's where I have it,
To the
the
fourth?
22nd.
It says-
Yeah. I currently have it there.
Is there a fourth Thursday?
Did we vote on it from the minutes in the last meeting?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I knew I saw it.
it is. But,
I know we said it,
yeah, proposed August meeting. Proposed moving August meeting to the 29th.
the 29th, yeah,
Yes.
that's what I thought.
I just thought of something, and if it's too late, that's fine, I'll wait. But,
Yeah, we're in open discussion. There's some-
I don't know if you're aware or not, but, Clemson has been hosting, or they're trying to establish the Family and Friends Assistance Center. Are you familiar with that, Chief?
No.
This is something that will happen, like there were to be like a big event, and basically they will act like a place for people, where people will be sent if they need assistance or they need to connect with people, and they will have resources, there, or possible people I don't know a whole lot. I'm only involved a little bit, but I think there might be something that
What is it called again?
the Family and Friends Assistance Center,
And who's running it?
the university and the CUPD is involved, chief, and well, hold on, I can give you.
So would it be like people who maybe came for football weekend or came for
No,
graduation?
that would be
week,
like if
some kind
something big happened, like a tornado, a hurricane,
okay.
or
Like
a mass
emergency
shooting or
management.
whatever, and then basically
Okay.
they will tell people that were affected by the event,
Okay.
You moved it already.
you go, to this location, and like if you
Okay, so,
say,
all right, so are you talking about the Family and Friends Reunification Center?
well, I guess so, but they're calling it,
Assistance.
Assistance
Family
Center.
and Friends Assistance
But
Center.
it's only for post-disaster.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm familiar with the concept. So, for instance, when Parkland had the shooting at the school, as part of the incident command system, ICS system, they set up a center where families can go to find out about where their loved ones are, so on and so forth. And I think that's what this is. Post an incident, they send folks to an off-site location so that they can be reunified with their loved ones and find out more information about their loved ones, et cetera.
Well, that's part of it, or is they need assistance, like, for example, the way it was explained to me, like, there was a tornado and
Right, and they have no housing and they need to be rehoused, right,
Place to
right.
go.
Correct. So that's where the resources would be to help them get the resources they need.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll make those connections, so.
Right, so that's all part of the ICS, and I remember the emergency management group at the university talking about
Okay.
finalizing that. So similarly, we have that in our active shooter plan for like the elementary school, in our policy and procedure. So, but I'll talk with the university folks and see if they, I guess, come do a presentation and talk about the concept of what that is.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was something, I mean, I guess my point was to ensure that you were aware and if there was any collaboration, I mean, whatnot.
I am, and we plan with the university on things because we realize when a natural disaster or some other incident occurs, it's not just going to affect campus, it's not just going to affect the city, it's probably going to affect both. So we have to combine our resources and our efforts in that situation. So, for instance, I think we have a hurricane mock coming up that we're planning with them, because I got some emails in the last couple of weeks while I was on vacation about looking over the plan for that. But yes, so we do collaborate for stuff like that.
Sorry,
No, it's fine.
I remember that, I was like,
Do we have anything else? Get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
In favor?